Hi, everyone.
Hi, welcome to Moms Interrupted. We're your hosts, Taylor and Natasha.
How's everyone doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
What's new?
What's new is I'm on my 4th weekend of solo parenting in a row. My husband is literally kissing the ground I walk on. I'm like, you're never going anywhere
Did you
again.
leave already?
Yeah.
For this.
I'm just feeling like a total badass and like I can do anything.
I love that. Well,
Yeah.
that's a good mindset.
Yeah. And actually, like, I'm kind of getting used to it. I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
he's not here.
Yeah.
So, like, what's up? Also, he got an office. He's not working from the house anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
So he's just not around as much, which like we live in California in a tiny home. So it's nice to not be on top of each other 100% of the time. So I'm just feeling good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Minus the fact that you woke up at 3 a.m.
And that I vomited in the sink.
Yes.
But I hadn't vomited for 3 weeks prior. So it's okay. It's just, a feeling that I didn't want to have back, but it's back.
Are you feeling nauseous still, or like was it just like a
No, I
vomiting
just feel
moment?
out of it. And,
Yeah.
like you wake up early and you're out of it. I'm
Yeah.
like exhausted.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing. I was trying to put extra stuff under my eyes. Just like, look alive.
You look good.
Thank
You look great in navy.
Natasha texted me, can we look cozy? I was like, yeah.
Done.
Sure. I was looking at my closet as you texted me, like, this isn't happening.
You guys, as it gets colder and colder, we're just going to be in like more comfy clothes.
Yeah.
Like more sweats, more comfy.
Definitely.
Because one, also, I was thinking about, like, did you grow up watching Lizzie McGuire?
Yes.
Okay, so remember when that mean girl, I forget her name, and I should know it, but she's like, Lizzie McGuire, you're an outfit repeater.
No.
And then I'm like, well, obviously, like, what are we supposed to do? Have a different outfit every single day? No. So anyways, she says back, like, actually, you're an outfit rememberer. If you ever see me outfit repeating, like, yes.
So my husband always talks about this. So, and I think it relates to moms. He doesn't always talk about Lizzie McGuire. Let me reframe.
Yeah.
He always talks about repeating outfits
Yeah.
because my husband has like 5 outfits
Yeah.
and he repeats them.
Yeah.
And I always ask him, like, why don't you invest in clothes?
Yeah.
And he was like, Steve Jobs was like, I have so many things I need to think about in the day.
Yeah.
My outfit can't be one of them.
Uh-huh.
So I have 4 button-ups, 4 pairs of pants.
Yeah.
I alternate which ones I wear. And I was like, that's so interesting because moms have it's mental load choosing an outfit.
It is.
And I'd rather have a shirt of every color and pants and just alternate.
I can't relate because, like,
Well, you like fashion.
I'm like a fashion girly, as you can
don't.
tell.
high fashion girl. You're like a at heart fashion
Yeah,
girl.
like underneath the sweatpants. I love fashion. Always have. At one point, I wanted to be a fashion designer.
You have a eye for fashion.
I'm like
There's a
into
difference
it.
between-
Like,
yeah.
it's like a hobby. So, like,
Yes.
in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do that because I want to get dressed and like be cute in theory.
Yeah.
But like, also, I'm a mom and I don't have time for that. So I end up wearing this.
I see both sides too,
Yeah.
because as a mom, you like some days I just want to look good instead of looking like a slob kebab
Yeah.
every single day. But then I also don't want to put in the energy to look good.
Totally. So hence,
So I end up doing my makeup with sweatsuits.
but like, at least you're wearing a set. See, that's where the set comes in. Because it's
so
like,
fashionable.
I mean, at least,
And it's my color.
yeah, it's your, see, here we go.
Natasha.
It's all about wearing the colors that look good on you. And then it doesn't matter as much like what is the actual clothing.
I
It's
love
like,
it.
it looks great, makes your face look good. These are the important things. These are the things that I think about. I understand how it could feel like mental load for a lot of people who are like not into it. Like Steve Jobs. He's like, don't care.
Yeah. I respect fashion,
And you,
but I don't follow it.
yeah. But
I don't know what I'm doing.
But you always like, not always, but like you look cute a lot. Like whenever we go,
Not always.
always is a word I'm trying not to use because it's like a 100% blanket thing. Because when Drew and I fight, he's like, don't say always. And I'm like, you're right. It's not always. It's sometimes. I feel like you do this a lot.
Oh
it's not
my
always.
gosh.
So anyways, that's what
So I don't always look like shit.
Anyway.
In order to be here today, we both have childcare.
Yes. And so we are going to talk about childcare, and it's a beast.
And this week in particular, my childcare got upended. We were supposed to film Wednesday, and there is hands, foot, and mouth going around everywhere.
Good times.
It's all over LA, all over the schools here in San Diego. And I only have my son, who is 2, in 2 half days. And I just didn't feel like those 2 half days were worth us getting hands, foot, mouth.
Totally.
I think if he had to be in there every day, it'd be a different situation.
Of course.
And I would just have to suck it up.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Hands, foot, mouth isn't the end of the world.
Right.
A lot of people get it.
Yeah.
But I'm pregnant. I'm already a sick pregnant person. I just can't do it.
It's a priorities list, right? Like, do you need the childcare more, or do you need to not have hand, foot, and mouth more?
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, we have to find another day to
and
record.
if you had to go into the office and you, like you said, and you had to have childcare for that reason, like, it's like, what, we'll just figure it out if we get it.
Yeah.
But in our situation where things are more flexible, you can be like, we're gonna have to reschedule recording,
and you just lose that money, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So I had him home Wednesday, worked on other stuff, and now we're here, and we both have different childcare situations to be here because I have a one-on-one nanny for a few hours, and you are doing a nanny share.
I regularly do a nanny share, which I feel like with the second kid is easier because I know more moms who have nannies already, and I've used nannies before. I feel more comfortable dropping my kid off with a nanny. I know the nanny, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The second time around, it just feels easier. The first time I was like, I don't know about leaving my kid with a stranger. I don't know this house. I don't know these people, you know, all of these things. Like a nanny share felt very like just so many variables. But now I'm like, cool, $17 an hour. I know this nanny. I know this family. I'm more comfortable dropping my kid off. It feels like a much more comfortable scenario. And not that I wouldn't have my own nanny, but like this is a nanny that I already have been using for years. And she works full time for a friend because I don't have full time childcare because I just need part time. So I just drop her off when I need it. And it's like the perfect scenario for me while my son's in preschool. The worst financial problem, I feel like, is one kid at home with a nanny and one kid in preschool. That is like bankruptcy. Like, what is that? Who can do that?
What is the difference between having 2 in preschool?
Well, a full-time nanny is like $4,000 a month.
Full-time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then preschool is like $2,000 a month. So like putting those two together, like at least if you have 2 kids in daycare or preschool, it's less than a nanny. But if you have 1 in each, it's like the worst of both, in my opinion. So I feel like the thing with childcare for little kids before they're in, say, elementary school is that everything is a trade-off, right? There's pros and cons to having a nanny share, having an au pair, having your kids in daycare. Everything is pros and cons. And I feel like especially the first time around, it's really hard to navigate those pros and cons until you like try things out and what works best for your family. But it's really tough. Like, remember when you were pregnant with Kelly and I was like, hey, I'm dealing with this crazy wait list situation for preschool. Get your name on the wait list. And you're like, what?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I was pregnant with my first baby and I chose not to know the gender. And I was told by Natasha to go around, put myself on wait lists and like tour
recommended.
School, and tour
I
schools.
recommended it.
And so I did that, and I just remember being so shocked that I knew I didn't want to put my child in until like maybe 18 months, 2 years, and that I had to be on a wait list. And you were right. And I was maybe like the first, second, or third person most of the schools called. All of them called me. I made it to all of them.
Yeah.
But I know a ton of people who didn't. So that was crazy. I just remember being so shocked. And I added my name to like 6. I had to put X human because I didn't know the gender. And I was like, is this okay? They were like, yeah.
I did the same thing with the baby, my second, because I was pregnant and I was like, this girl, like baby girl.
Oh, because you didn't know the name. Yeah. I also think like what you said about how it changes with baby 1 versus baby 2, what you would decide is so true, because with baby 1, I feel like I was less inclined to choose something that exposed him to more illnesses, especially because he had a really severe case of RSV and was hospitalized at 6 weeks. So I was already very traumatized and really didn't want another situation like that.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have your second and your other kid's already in school and they're already being exposed, it's like you kind of just have to put your hands up and be like, okay.
Like that's no longer a factor.
That's no longer a factor. There's still other factors.
Of course.
That's one factor I feel like kind of disappears with the more children you have.
100%.
It's like, whatever.
You're a little sneezing into my eyeballs.
Exactly.
So what can you do?
Yeah.
My kids have runny noses right now because it's October.
Right.
They're going to be sick for the next 6 months because that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Exactly.
The only way to keep your kid not sick is to not be around other children. Once they go to school, they're going to get all the illnesses. So it's like just delaying. It's kicking the can down the road, which is fine if that's what you choose. Right. That's the thing with childcare is like everybody's priorities are different. Everybody has a different situation, whether you have 2 working parents or 1 working parent or, you know, grandparents that help out.
In part-time and one's not, because you can do part-time daycare or full-time daycare.
Right.
There's so many different
options.
And
but
I know people who work full-time but do part-time daycare
Yeah.
because they pick up their kid and then it's nap time, so they keep working and they're off by like 4, which is a lot of the pickups.
So basically, that's what I have. My son does 3 half days at preschool, 2 full days.
I thought he was in all full days.
I mean, I pay for all full days.
Oh.
My son is 4 next month. And if he takes a nap at school, he doesn't fall asleep until 11 p.m. So I pick him up for half days on the days that I'm able to so that he can go to bed at a normal hour, because I'm not down to stay up till 11 with my 3-year-old.
Yeah.
But I have less childcare, but that is worth it to me 3 days a week versus 5, because 2 days a week I need, like, we have the podcast, I'm in school part-time. So I work during my daughter's naps and while my son is in school in the mornings, and then the afternoons, like, he does quiet time, she takes a nap, so I get some more work done then. And I'm really just piecing things together. And then after they go to bed, sometimes I have to do more work. But it's really just like a game of Tetris. And obviously my 3, almost 4-year-old is very relatively independent now. And so he can go play for an hour.
Yeah.
And I can be like, I have to get some stuff done. Let me set you up with an activity. Whereas like when they're 2, it's really hard because it's very disruptive. But I'm holding on to those 2 naps for that exact reason, because I can just have her nap from 9 to 10:30. She goes to the nanny share from say 10:45 to 1:45, comes home, takes another nap for another hour and a half. So that's almost like, you know, 9 to 3:30. That's almost a full day coverage for me to get stuff done. So,
but I will say it's all individual, because like my son dropped that second nap so early.
Right.
And if he did do the second nap, it was 20 minutes.
No.
It would take me like 45 minutes to get him down for a 20-minute nap. So then I was spending more time.
This is the other thing. As soon as you feel like you have something figured out, right? He takes 2 naps. It was time for him to drop to 1 nap. And then, okay, so I just need you from 8 to noon now, because he takes a nap from 12:30 to 3 and I can work during. So then you're figuring this out with the nanny, and then she has to find another job, or she's trying to juggle 2 jobs. So it's just really a lot of mental load to figure out everyone's.
And it's always the mom figuring out.
Why is it always the mom?
And what's interesting is, I stand by this. There's not one family who's doing it the exact same as another family.
Well,
I always log off early from work and go pick him up at 3 or 4 and like spend a couple hours before he goes to bed, and I push bedtime so I can spend more time with him.
Totally. And then I have friends who after bedtime log back on and finish their work. Yeah. So it's really just a slog. And I feel like that's not something, like having little kids, like toddlers and preschool age kids, is really hard for many reasons, but I feel like it's really not talked about how hard it is when you're working and trying to piece the childcare together. And in other countries, not only do they have more paid leave, which gives more flexibility, but also childcare is subsidized and it's more flexible. Like I'm looking at TK for next year, which is at public school. The hours are 9 to 2, and on Wednesdays it's 9 to noon. I'm like, I am lucky enough to where I have a very flexible schedule, but who is that for? That's not for people who have full-time jobs. So then those people have their kids in TK, and then they also have to have a nanny,
right,
or grandparents,
or after school care or whatever program.
But those
so
are
then you don't actually get free TK because you're paying for something no matter what.
Exactly. And I know people who opt to keep their kids in preschool instead of going to TK because the hours are better, and they're like, what's the point of TK? It's like part-time. I need full-time. If you have your kid in
older grades are part-time too.
Well, yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
My sister has an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And even the 6-year-old, she's like, yeah, but then Wednesdays it's at 3 and then Fridays half day. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
And you have 3 drop-offs and
No.
they're all in different locations?
No.
It's just, I don't understand. And how is that, especially someone who's not working from home, if you're full-time
In the office.
8
hours a day.
You need also a full-time nanny.
Yeah.
To just do the drop-offs and pickups.
Well, that's the thing.
And then so many people just end up falling off the career wagon because it's not sustainable.
It's just too much.
It's insane.
So I used
And
to.
that's not even talking about the fun things. You have to be at Halloween night and you have to be at this and this. So it's like there's always, you have to go to the soccer game. You have to do this.
Or there's like performances during the day.
There
like
are.
I remember I was at the eye doctor and I was getting an exam, and my eye doctor was like, do you mind if I join this Zoom to watch my daughter's Halloween parade? She's like, I can't be there, but I told her I'd be watching. And I was like, oh my God, my heart, like it's like, why is it at 11 a.m.? Like, no, who can go to that? America is
America hates moms.
America
hates moms and hates children, but
Yeah.
at the same time wants us to have more.
Of course.
So I just think that
it's ass backwards.
it's so backwards. There's so many surveys about if you could stay home the first year or first 2 years and not pause your career,
Yeah.
like still go back. Most women say yes.
So
Of course, there's always outliers.
Of course.
And people want to go back to work and
Yeah.
they want to do those things. And that's great. And they should be able to.
Yes.
The issue is we don't have a choice right now.
Right.
It's whatever situation you are in, plus the way our system works in America determines it. You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice, and that's the problem. I was just talking to my cousin about this the other day because she just did grad school, and then she has a part-time job now where she's hoping to get hired on full-time. And I was like, oh my gosh, the dream, you're working part-time. Like, how is it? That's everyone that I know is like, in an ideal world, I would have been home the first, 9 to 12 months with my baby, and then transitioned back into work, maybe transitioned part-time, and then eventually full-time when my kids are in like a longer childcare situation, school. The dream.
Have a nanny at home. You still get to see them. You're working from home.
Yes. And so I was talking to her about it, and she's like, I mean, I guess it's the dream, but I make like $0 because part-time work is just not compensated the same way as full-time work. I get 0 benefits because I'm not a full-time employee.
Right.
So no health insurance, no paid time off. Like, she's like, so yeah, in theory, it sounds great to be working part-time because she has a 4 and a 6-year-old. So she's like, that sounds ideal, but in practice, it doesn't actually
It has
work.
to matter why you're going back to work.
Yeah.
And why you want to
Well,
work
and
part-time.
that's for her.
Because there are non-monetary reasons to stay in the career force.
Of course.
And women are forced out of it and don't have the ability to keep a part-time
Yeah.
thing or...
Because the part-time options are trash.
Oh my, I looked so hard because
Same.
I was laid off while I was pregnant and I really wanted to keep working at that company. I loved it. They had already expressed like, come back slowly.
Yeah.
You get really good maternity.
Yeah. Same thing. When
I really looked.
after 5 months of maternity leave, it was COVID, and I had planned to go back to work, and I was like, I'm not ready to come back full time. Like, can I come on halftime? And they were like, no. Anyways, my whole team ended up getting laid off, so it all worked out. So I didn't go back to work, but I wanted to work part time. I wanted to use my brain. I wanted to stay in the workforce, but I wasn't ready to leave at 5 months and focus on a full-time job yet. Like, my brain wasn't ready to be checked out from my son yet.
I mean, we haven't even spoken about if you want to breastfeed. I had these goals. I really wanted to reach a year.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at part-time or even full-time jobs, but from home. Right. And they had to be flexible in the sense where like I could breastfeed whenever, because I was just breastfeeding on demand.
Yeah.
And nothing.
No.
It just.
If you have a job like that, you are like the unicorn. That is a really good setup. And these are things that I feel like you don't think about because, for example, myself, I thought like, well, everybody does this. You just go back to work after X amount of weeks, X amount of months, and like you just figure it out. But until you're in it, you don't realize like how heart-wrenching it is to make these decisions and how hard it is to decide like, okay, daycare. The pros of daycare is they're out of your house, right? They're getting socialization. They're all of these fun activities. Like there's a lot of pros to daycare, right? Somebody else is like cleaning up all the messes. And then the pros to being at home, you know, you get to pop in throughout the day if you're working from home, or, you know, the nanny can help with laundry, help with household chores. There's less
making baby food.
Yeah, there's help with
there's less mental load.
Yes, and there's
like even when I'm packing a lunch for 2 half days, I'm like,
yeah,
you know,
yes, all of the things that they need too, right? Like there's so many things.
Every
like
day, it's like I need another emergency clothes.
Can you talk about the beginning of the school year when you were like, wait, he needs like 3 backup outfits? Like why so many outfits? Taylor's like, I don't have any backup clothes. Like I don't have enough clothes.
No, I swear I'm a good mom. I don't have enough toys. I don't have enough clothes.
Kids don't need things. They need love.
Anyway, you were like, just buy packs off at Amazon. Yeah. So I did that.
Hanes t-shirts.
But I couldn't believe like all the things that go into it. Whereas if it is a nanny, it's just like,
buy. Like they're in your home. Figure it out together. And the nice thing about the nanny is you don't have to adhere to certain schedules. Our one friend was actually just texting us about how her son goes to bed later and sleeps in later. So like it doesn't work for their family to have 8 a.m. start. She's like, I just want to bring him, you know, when we start our day, not when they say we have to be there. So that's the nice thing about a nanny. Nice. I know, right? I'm like, cool.
Late morning start.
I know. Meanwhile, Taylor is like, 20 more minutes till I can bring him to school at 7:30. We haven't even talked about au pairs. I am in school with a woman who has 7 children. She had quadruplets. And then another set of...
Natasha was like, she has an au pair. I was like, does she have 3 au pairs?
Literally. So she was just talking about how it's like so fabulous. She loves it so much. They've been doing it for years. Her kids are older. They're in school. But she's like, I have a full-time business. I have to have help, but it's so cost prohibitive to have a full-time nanny. And also she's like, I need help at dinner time. I need help when the kids wake up. She's like, we need another adult around the clock. So we need someone living with us, and having a live-in is cost prohibitive, but having an au pair when it's like a cultural experience and it's through an agency is actually like a really cool kind of give and take. So that's another thing.
I was an au pair.
You were?
In Malaga, Spain, for 2 12-year-old twin boys.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
For how long?
For 4 months.
How long were you? When were you in Spain? In college?
I studied abroad in London, and I decided before I studied abroad, I wanted to live in a different country rent free and like just make money. And I loved kids and loved nannying. Yeah. So 2 12-year-old twin Spanish boys that still follow me on Instagram. Cute. And I follow them. Cute. I'm still friends with their mom. Cute. And it was a really cool experience. And I mean, I was like barely paid, but it didn't matter. That wasn't the point. I got like time off. I got the weekends. I could travel around Spain. It was so cool.
Well, and they pay for your food and rent, right? So the extra money that you get is not a lot, but also like you don't have to worry about your expenses. Right. Unless you're traveling on the weekends and stuff. Yeah.
So young au pairs even. Really cool.
Yeah. See, that's really cool. So that's another option. Obviously, not everybody has an extra room and it doesn't work for every family, but there are scenarios where it does make sense. I am pro team au pair. I really want to try it. My husband's like, I don't want someone else in our house. Yeah. But I'm like, me and the au pair will handle it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Especially once you add up nanny, daycare, like as you have more kids, it's like, never mind. Like we're just desperate for help.
So what I really like about nannies and au pairs and people that are in the home is I don't like the isolated nuclear family model. I have my child in daycare, so this is nothing bad about daycare, but I just find that the models where people are coming into the home, it just helps eliminate that nuclear family that we've established, and it kind of brings back the village so that they're helping other things around the house. You don't feel as isolated. You feel more like communal living, which I love, and I like yearn for. Really want that back.
On the other hand, I will say, if you work from home and your kids are at home with a nanny, like sometimes it's nice for everybody to just like get out of my house.
Right.
Get out of my house. And obviously they take the kids places and stuff.
That's why I love the idea. We haven't spoken about this, but a lot of my friends do home daycares. And home daycares are very interesting.
Yes.
I don't have any strong opinions on them. I just wish they were more available.
More prevalent.
Because I think it's a really cool concept. And
so fun fact, I actually thought about starting a in-home daycare.
Maybe you should.
But like,
I do not have it in me.
Yeah, basically that was me.
I would love for my son to attend one.
So
they're hard to find.
I looked at one and I feel like it's a really cool model. The thing with in-home daycares for me personally was, and obviously there's all of these hoops that you have to jump through to have an in-home daycare.
I did look at one.
Yeah.
That weird one. You know what one.
Yeah, of course. I recommended you look at it. I feel like I'm more open to it the second time. The first time, like type A was a little bit like, who are these people and like what?
I think you need a referral. You need someone who
goes there
and loves really good reviews, loves it.
My sister-in-law has one that she goes to and is obsessed with.
You can find weird things about
for sure.
About daycares,
about nannies, about preschools, everything.
Like vetting is a whole nother topic
100%.
For vetting all these different types, even just a nanny.
Yeah, of course. And that's another thing too. Like we got our nanny from a referral from someone that she just felt like her son and the nanny didn't vibe. And my son and this nanny, they were in love with each other.
Yeah.
So it's just so interesting figuring out a good vibe, not only between the parents and the childcare, but also the kid and the childcare, right? And finding the right fit. My son, we had him in a preschool for 6 weeks and I ended up pulling him out and sending him somewhere else because it just wasn't a good fit. So reserve the right to try things and then pivot as needed. Pivot. Because not everything is one size fits all. Not everything's black and white. You may have to try out different people, try out different preschools, try out different daycares until you find the right fit. And something that works for someone else's family might not work for yours. And that is okay. You don't have to force it. You don't have to say like, I committed to this and so we're going to stick it out. Like you can change your mind.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about listening to your gut feeling. The preschool that I pulled my son out of, people rave about. And I think it's a great school, but it wasn't a good fit for him.
Yeah.
So it's not saying, oh, that's not a good place to send your kids. It's just saying I had to listen to that gut feeling and I tried to make it work. And then I was like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
And you can do that with every scenario.
Yeah.
Au pairs. I've had people say we had an au pair come and then after 2 months we were like, this isn't a good fit.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to ask for a new one. So you just have to like really go into it with an open mind, but also listening to your gut and being like, I think this is what's best for my kid. Also, like some kids are really outgoing and thrive at daycare, thrive at preschool, and other kids don't.
Yeah.
And it's harder for them to transition and they don't like it.
I think too, what comes up a lot in this conversation of childcare is that we spoke about how it does come down to the mom. So because of that, the mom gets a lot of guilt, and there's a lot of guilt surrounding this conversation. And it's such a bummer because you'll see all these TikToks of child behavioral experts and all of these studies done about attachment theory, and they're really cool studies and there's value in them. But the issue is when experts in America are telling moms like, it's bad to put your child in daycare before age 1 or before age 2, and it messes up attachment and it messes up all these behavioral things. The problem with that is there's nothing for moms in America to do about it.
Right.
There's no choice because we don't have paid leave.
Right.
And a lot of people don't have these options.
Yeah.
So I think experts and leaders in policy need to be leading with let's figure out paid leave and how to make it more livable for mothers in America, instead of leading with, you should feel guilt for putting your child into something, because guess what? Moms already feel guilty. Moms already usually do not want to send their kids somewhere that early.
Even if you can have a nanny or a grandparent, like they usually don't want to leave their baby yet. So like it's not about daycare or nannies or whichever is best. It's like most moms would choose to be with their kids more than they're able to,
right?
Because of the setup that we have in America where there's no paid leave. So it's not about choosing what's best. It's about like, well, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And the policy needs to change. Not like, oh, let's make moms feel bad. Like, thanks.
Yeah. I also will say something that I always think about in this conversation is that people in general talk a lot about like, why is it only moms that we talk about in this conversation? Like, why isn't it fathers? Why isn't it this? And like, trust me, I agree. But also, if you're a breastfeeding mom, it is different.
Yeah.
It's a totally different conversation.
Totally.
My husband does not need his boobies to go back to work or to stay at home.
Right.
Like, and I chose to be an exclusively breastfeeding mom.
Yeah.
And that impacts your choice in this decision.
Of course.
And that is a valuable differentiation
100%
to be spoken about.
Of course.
Because you should be able to make the choice on how you want to feed your kid, just like you should make the choice on how long you want to be with them.
There's so many factors, and those factors affect your feeding choices.
Right.
And a lot of moms don't get to
Yeah.
decide. Yeah. My therapist has me do this a lot. She says, what would an ideal day look like if it were up to you? And I try to apply this to choices that I make throughout different scenarios, right? Like childcare or things with my husband. What would an ideal situation look like? And I feel like with breastfeeding, with paid leave, with going back to work, with childcare, all of these different factors in life, an ideal situation is not realistic, and it's just like depressing that we don't get to even get close to that.
Yeah.
Where other developed countries do.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so unacceptable how moms are fighting for their lives, pumping at offices, in electrical closets,
in bathrooms. My mom said that when I was 3 months old and she had to go back to work, she was literally sitting up on the toilet with a manual pump, like looking at a picture of me to get a letdown so that she could pump while she was like in this really stressful work environment. And that wasn't that long ago. Like, I'm only 32.
No, these are stories that are happening now to some of our friends. It's just so infuriating. And, you know, it again brings them so much guilt because they're like, I can't keep up with this, so I have to stop.
There is the Pump Act and all of these policies, but they're not being enforced.
No, we need leave.
Right.
We don't need moms to have to pump in bathrooms.
Right.
We need leave so that they can feed their baby at home.
Right.
We're fighting for the wrong things here. Like, sure, some moms might prefer that. So sure, do the act. We need that.
Great.
We need that in place.
Yeah. And yes, but also if we're going to have it, let's enforce it. Like my friends who are nurses, they're like, oh, like, great. There's this act where they're supposed to let us pump, but they're like, I have a patient that's coding. I have to go pump. Like it doesn't work.
I saw this video of a female surgeon doing a surgery while having pumps in her.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
It's just, it's like, how did we get here?
Yeah. And it's like, great. We have the choice to work now, but also it's not working.
No, I mean, it's
like moms are short circuiting trying to do it all.
People are like, you can do it all. I'm like, you really can.
Okay.
People are trying and they're surviving.
Yeah.
But moms are surviving at this point. We're not thriving doing it all.
This is the thing. Like, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at once. And
if you do, it's like SOS every day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know one person who's doing it all that's like, this is so much fun.
I've got it all figured out.
I've got it all figured out. Not one person.
If you're in it right now, you're doing a great job. Because what we're up against is, it's not easy. It's not even a normal level of stress. It is so stressful. I mean, all the studies that say like, what are the most stressful jobs? It's like Navy SEALs and moms. ER doctors and moms. That's not fake. We're running on no sleep. I live off of a quesadilla and caffeine.
Yeah.
And the guilt and the shame and the stress. And My husband and I are actually, going back to childcare, have been having this conversation because he's like, send the baby to daycare because I'm in school and I have the podcast and, you know, we have a bunch of stuff going on. And I'm like, in an ideal world, right? We did this whole exercise. She would be at a nanny share or at home with a nanny until she's a little bit older. Like that is my ideal situation. One, because I'm still breastfeeding. Two, because daycare forces a certain schedule. She still takes 2 naps. So I'd have to force to 1 nap and obviously she'd be fine. But if I can allow her to get there on her own, and if I can continue to breastfeed, slowly weaning, then I'm going to choose to do that. I know not everybody has that choice, but when we're talking about my situation, he's like, just send her to daycare so that you can have more time to do all the things that you need. And in my brain, I want as little childcare as possible to be able to do the things that I need to do and then be with my kids the rest of the time. I'm not trying to optimize a dollar amount for a certain number of hours so that I can have all this free time. That's not why I had kids.
We talked about how value isn't always money value.
Yes.
Because you aren't driving to daycare. You're not doing all these
packing lunches.
You're not cleaning up after her meals.
Right.
You're not.
It goes back to the mental load. And it goes back to all these other factors that you have to factor in, that obviously money rules the world, right? So it's a factor because everybody needs money to survive. But also there are other things like commuting to, if I sent her to daycare, it'd be 2 different drop-offs.
Yeah.
2 different lunches, 2 different pickup times. So it's like, there's all these other factors. And like, guess what? It falls on me because my husband works full time and he doesn't have those things. So like, we have to basically make a list and talk about all of the things that are important to our family and all of the things, all of the different scenarios that would happen with 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids.
It's the mom that also works full time and falls on the mom. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah. If you are a mom right now that is trying to navigate being a mother of a small child while also working full time, working part time, also just surviving, staying at home, whatever you are doing. And if you're trying to figure it out, you're doing a good job because everything is up against you and is up against us. And we need to do better at lifting each other up and applauding every mom in every different situation that they're in, because it's all hard and we're getting up and we're doing it every day. Even if we're sick, even if we've had no sleep, we are doing it.
We're doing it, and we need to be on the same team.
Yes.
Like, moms are all doing hard stuff. Every decision that we make is not made lightly. So let's just say, like, daycare moms crushing it, working moms crushing it, stay-at-home moms crushing it. If you're trying to figure out something in the middle, you're crushing it. Like, we're all doing our best.
Yeah.
So,
and none of it's normal.
No.
None of it is normal.
Let's talk about how in other countries there's a year of paid leave, 2 years of paid leave, part-time work, subsidized childcare. Yeah. Let's like get our pitchforks out and riot in the streets, because come on, America. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's do better.
Let's do better.
And why is it on the moms? Like, we have enough on our plates. Like, maybe dads, this is where you can step in. Fight for paid leave, dads. Get out there and riot in the streets for us.
Let's all get out there and riot in the streets for that, because I feel like that's the biggest thing impacting all of these decisions. Yeah. We all deserve to be at home with our babies if we want to be.
Moms over profits.
Moms over profits. And no more shaming about decisions.
No more shame. No more guilt.
Yeah.
We're figuring it out as we go. We're making the best decisions we can for our families, and everybody's family is different, and we're crushing it.
You're crushing it.
Kudos, mamas.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.